Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, California Weather Watch. Today is March 9th, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. Here you can see I've overlaid the air mass characteristics in the green. You can clearly see this warm subtropical atmospheric river starting to impact the state of California. That colder upper level trough with the purples and the reds shown here across Pacific Northwest. And this isn't going to be a one and done atmospheric river, guys, because this next stuff is out here across Pacific and it's lining up to come at California as well. So you could be dealing with this with the potential for another and another following that one, even as we go through the extended forecast. We'll take a look at that coming up here in a few moments. Key takeaways for the storm here: there's going to be a lot of rainfall into the foothills where there's snow on the ground, and there's going to be big snowmelt below 5,000 feet here. Some heavy wet snowfall onto the higher terrain above, so it's really going to impact some of the roof loading that's going on out there. Some big heavy wet snowfall on top of the huge amounts already on a lot of the structures there across some of the higher terrain. Now, looking at this, there is some wind potential as well. Probably going to get some gusts 50 plus, if I had to guess, across some of the Central Valley, the coastal areas, and of course across the higher terrain goes without saying. Some moderate impacts can be expected from that. That goes on through Friday afternoon. Similar here. This is the wind advisory showing there through 4 p.m. Friday, March 10th. Now, this is moderate flash flood potential or equivalent conditions here across Central California. And look at some of these just impressive precipitation amounts, 8+ inches. That's water equivalent here across some of the foothills coming. You're going to have a big risk of mud and rock slides, ponding, flooded roadways, and some of these storm drains are going to be blocked by snow and ice, and it's going to flow into people's homes, and it's going to be flowing down roads, instead of going into creek beds and rivers. So it's a pretty dynamic situation unfolding in front of us as we speak. This is the heavy snow potential here. You've got snow 2 to 8 feet. That's not 2 to 8 inches. That's 2 to 8 feet. And I know we're becoming numb to some of these huge snowfall amounts across the Sierra Nevada, but look at some of these wind gusts as well, up to 80 miles per hour here. And you can see the timeline there. Possible, impossible travel conditions are likely across a lot of the higher terrain here as we go through these storm systems. This is Caltrans District 3 showing how some of these roads are just plain impassable here. I mean, where do you plow the snow off to? It becomes a one-lane road. Some of this slides back into the road, and you just can't even get down these roads. I mean, look at how steep some of the sides here are. Just incredible. Nice pictures here. So you can see this excessive rainfall exists for a lot of Central California as well. It does include a lot of the cities here as well, so I'm showing that one. But you can see the freezing levels are going to be quite high here through today and tomorrow here, up towards 10,000 feet at times. And you can see this one through Friday night. You can see it showing below 9,000 feet. Some of this precipitation is going to be falling. A lot of the snow is going to absorb some of that, but that's just going to add to the weight on a lot of people's homes and structures out there as well. And then the additional heavy snowfall falling at higher elevations as well will do the same. This is looking at some of those risks. Some of the wind can blow the snow around on your roof out there. And then, you start to get some melting, and it's an uneven load on your roof. Some of these can fall off, and they have actually been known to kill people off some of the bigger homes. There's like little mini avalanches that can crush people as it comes down. And then you can imagine you get rainfall on top of that. You get some melting, and water does a really good job finding weaknesses in homes, and that can come into your house, and you don't have the ability to get up on that roof to clear it. So just have that heads up out there. Try to clear your roofs off. You still have a little bit more time before the storm comes in here. Another great picture. I believe this is Caltrans District 3 as well. As you can see, just some of the huge amounts of snowfall on some of the structures out there. And so, clear off those storm drains as well if you get that chance. Now, as per most of the winter and early spring here, California has kind of looked like a fruitcake here with all these incredible colors going on. We've had blizzard warnings, winter storm warnings, watches, winter weather advisories, flood warnings, watches, wind advisories, all kinds of stuff across the state. And today and on in through this weekend and next week is going to be nothing different, with very impactful storms rolling in here. 1 through 3 overall winter storm impacts here are going to be extreme across the higher terrain. This is going to be the NAM3 cam. I just sped it all the way ahead here, and you can see the big wind gusts coming in here. Actually, let me back up a little bit here. So you can see that coming in this afternoon and this evening across some of Central California and the higher terrain. The coastal areas a little bit earlier there, but some big gusts coming across the region all the way through northern Nevada as well, and southern Oregon also. Now, this is looking at precipitable water. This is the European. This is hot off the presses at 12Z. So I'm going to update that and make sure we have all the data that we can get. And look at this atmospheric river, this subtropical air mass moving over the state here. going to hour at a time here, and you can just really see that training over the state of California. Not good, folks. There's going to be some huge impacts out there and some pretty extreme flooding locally from this. And you can see this kind of subtropical air mass hangs out a bit here as we go on in through the weekend, and then watch what's coming next week. You can see another atmospheric river coming in here on the day Monday. I mean, look at this next one, kind of sinister looking there. Hopefully this one shuts off behind it pretty quick, and there's going to be potential for more systems after that, as you can see off into the future as well. So we'll watch those one at a time. We're trying to deal with these storms as we go. This is looking at the UW model here. Let me speed ahead back and reset this. This is the freezing level, and by the time you get towards the blues here, you're about 5,000 feet or so. But you can see this, snow level and freezing level go up pretty high here across the state. And then we're going to bring that next system as we go through early next week as well, with some pretty high freezing levels again. So it's not a one and done thing. We've got more atmospheric rivers on the way, guys. Now, taking a look here, this is the GFS hot off the presses. It kind of shows you the surface pressure and the precipitation overlay. You can see the huge amount of precipitation coming with this first storm there. Not much of a break. Precipitation continuing to impact portions of California here. That next strong atmospheric river, or moderate to strong atmospheric river, starts to roll through as we go through early week coming up here, and the potential for more after that. This is looking at the European. Let's update this. This is the 12Z, hot off the presses right now. It is running, and you can see this starting to pile up here along the coastal region as we go through this evening here. It really starts to impact the Sierra Nevada tonight and on into tomorrow morning, as you can see the huge amount showing up here. And it's trending a little bit further south across some of the higher terrain of Southern California as well, as you're going in through Friday night. And, there's still snow across some of the higher terrain down there that's going to be melting during this event as well. And then here we go as we go on into early next week. Look at this next one, too, just throwing huge amounts of precipitation on top of that. So, and even bigger amounts across Southern California there. So that's one we got to watch closely as well before another one starts to bear down on the region there as well. So here we go, Yosemite, Mammoth Airport here. You can see as we go through the day Thursday, look at this freezing level just spike above 10,000 feet here. This is 7,135 feet where the surface would be. And you can see well above freezing here, and it doesn't get back down below freezing before that next atmospheric river starts rolling around here. So a lot of that snow is going to be piling up on the higher terrain here, but it's pretty, the freezing levels are pretty darn high. So this is going to be pretty impactful flooding for some areas. This is pretty far north, almost 41 degrees latitude here, Weaverville Airport. You can see it's going to be above freezing for a lot of this period, especially as we go on into early next week as well. Looks like the freezing levels are going to remain high, even for portions of Northern California here coming up. Blue Canyon Airport here. This is fairly far north as well, 5,200 feet here. You can clearly see the warm up and kind of staying warm here. Not good news, folks. I wish I had something better to tell you, but some areas are going to get hit really hard here, and some pretty strong wording. High resolution ensemble forecast here showing impressive precipitation probabilities coming up here, 24-hour totals exceeding 100-year average recurrence interval shown there. So now, you might think that that's supposed to only happen every 100 years. Technically, it means that there's a 1% chance it will happen in any given year here, but like they say here, this raises the bells here for a particularly intense rainfall event coming up here. And they're talking about severely saturated ground conditions. Of course, there's a lot of snow on the ground, and snow as it melts tends to saturate the ground quite well. So that's just going to exacerbate flooding conditions coming up here as well. So yeah, pretty intense wording there. This is the entire state of California here. This is day one. This goes through Thursday morning through Friday morning here. And you can see this moderate just really incorporates an entire region, the foothills, Bay Area, Central Valley, coastal range here. This is day two, again with the foothills of Sierra Nevada, this atmospheric river just continuing to plow through the area. And you can see this is starting to swing down towards Southern California here now as well. This is day three, a little bit of a break here, but still some precipitation moving in. Day four there, and then look, day five. They're already preparing for that next one as we go on in through early to mid next week coming up here, folks. So, yeah. Crazy times coming up here, man. This winter is going to be talked about for a long time, you guys. So this is what an atmospheric river is. You can kind of see that it transports huge amounts of water with it. Look at that, 7.5 to 15 times the average flow of the mouth at the mouth of the Mississippi River there. So atmospheric rivers are a primary feature in the entire global water cycle. And yeah, and it causes flooding, but water is life. You need the water. Just hoping we don't get too much of it at one time. But I think we are going to, and some places are going to get hit pretty hard here, folks. But anyway, kind of a cool diagram here. You can visit those on the National Weather Service pages out there. But yeah, I wish I had better news coming up here, but it's going to get kind of crazy across the state here. I sound like a broken record saying that, but I'm just trying to get people to be prepared and whatnot. And, it's not going to be crazy for everybody. So, I know I'm going to hear people say, oh, it wasn't that bad here. But just remember, for every person that says that in this event, there's probably going to be other people that are getting extremely impacted. And some of the people are pretty private that are up in the foothills there, the Sierra Nevada, and they don't speak out a lot, and they like to handle things themselves, and they like to be self-sufficient out there, and you don't hear from them that much. So hopefully neighbors are in contact with each other out there, and you guys are helping each other out across some of the backcountry out there as well. But anyway, we'll do this again tomorrow. Maybe I'll do a live stream tonight, depending on how things are trending. I'll look at the model runs here as they come in during the day and see what the most recent forecasts are saying. If you guys check out that live stream last night, I had 3 people win weather stations last night. If you do not contact me by tonight, though, we're going to go back into the drawing and give those back away. I put a community post on the page here as well. You can reach me on Twitter, or you can email me here through the website on YouTube. It has my email address there, and you can get in contact with me there if you did win that weather station. But anyway, we'll do this again tomorrow at the latest. Stay safe out there. We got a ways to go over the next couple of weeks with some pretty intense precipitation coming in here. And yeah, we'll just watch it as we go, storm by storm, and hope you guys are having a good day otherwise, and I'll talk to you guys later.